Truth! Yes! Time to shine, youngsters! Saloobin at mga opinyon, sentiments at beliefs ng bagong henerasyon. Youth for Truth! Youth for Truth! Show that right attitude and slay. Pag-usapan natin anything na may feels at malapit sa puso nyo. Youth for Truth! Youth for Truth! Dito sa Radyo Pilipinas, 738 AM.
Ayon sa UP Diksionaryong Pilipino, ang sining o art ay isang ekspresyon ng anumang maganda o higit sa karaniwan. Ang mga halimbawa nito ay mga kanta, sayaw, larawan o pelikula. Ang lipunan naman ay isang set o grupo ng mga tao na may karaniwang saloobin, pag-uugali o pag-iisip na nagbabago sa paglipas ng panahon. Ang sining o art ay karaniwang ginagawa o binubuo upang bigyan ng buhay ang mga ideya. Isipin natin ang isang lipunan na walang mga sayaw, kanta, larawan o pelikula. Walang kulay, walang musika o kwento. Walang kultura, walang imahinasyon. Walang buhay ang isang lipunang walang sining. Ngayong Arts Month, kilalanin natin ang mga makabagong sining na nagpapatuloy na lumalaki at nag-iiba. At ang mga kababayan nating kilala at unti-unting nakikilala sa mga napili nilang sining. Alamin natin ang kani-kanilang mga paraan, saloobin at dahilan sa pagpapatuloy at pagpapalaganap nito sa ating lipunan.
Hey, hello everybody. My name is Edmond Andrada. So, I'm an artist based dito sa Baguio City. Baguio City is a creative city. Yeah, maraming artists sa amin, maraming art na makita sa paligid, murals and sculptures and everything. And since Baguio kasi maliit lang yung community namin dito. Maliit lang Baguio eh. So, almost every artist dito magkakakilala. Nung bata pa lang ako, I knew that I was born to be an artist. Kasi yun yung ginagawa ko every time. I always draw, yun na lang. So, since bata ako kasi, I always draw. I love art. You know, lagi akong interested sa mga creativity stuff around sa nakapalibot sa akin. So, sabi ko, after college, you know, after education, alam ko na ito yung magiging profession ko. So, after ko mag-aral, siyempre, mapupunta ka sa ibang trabaho. But basically, yung work na yun, it is nakalink pa rin siya sa creativity and art. And then eventually, you know, when time passes na hanapin mo yun eh. Minsan naliligaw tayo sa landas natin na napupunta tayo sa ibang profession. There comes a time na I have to resign from the corporate job and I have to make the decision na I have to do this full time. So yeah, I made the right decision. Yung importance nun sa buhay natin is, syempre it gives you, unang-una, you fulfill your passion. You know, as an artist, ano bang ginagawa mo, diba? To create something. You make something out of nothing. Also, you inspire other people, lalo na yung mga kabataan, yung mga bata. You know, I used to teach art sa mga kids. And you can actually see yung amazement nila sa art, sa creativity, sa colors, pinituloan sila mag-painting or drawing. And it's amazing, no? Sharing your ideas and sharing your talent sa iba. May nagsasabi, no, na huwag mong i-share yung technique, huwag mong i-share yung mga ganito. I think that's very wrong. Kasi you have to share that. It is God's blessing na for you to share your other talent. You need to spread yung God's given gift to the other people. Kasi kahit in-spread mo yan, it doesn't mean na ma-plagiarize or magagaya agad nila yung ginagawa mo. Kasi iba sila sa'yo. Iba yung technique nila sa'yo. So kahit tinuro mo yung style sa kanila, definitely hindi ka nila makakopy. Maybe just the style or the process. But basically, yung sila as an artist, kung ano man yung style nila, sila yon. So you need to spread kung what you have, kung ano yung meron ka. Ito na yung naging career ko. This is my number one source of income. Una-una mahirap. It's very difficult, lalo na pag nagsisimula ka pa lang as an artist and then you came from a poor family, you know, who doesn't have too much support on your career. Kasi usually, for majority of the people, ang mga tao, you need to be employed, diba? You need to have like 15-30 na sahod, diba? Or dapat may boss ka, or you need to work for a company. Basically, that's the mindset of the majority ng tao. And in the part of being an artist, syempre mahirap yun, di ba? Kung artist ka, you need to work on your own. You need to stand on your own. You need to do everything on your own. Walang magsisweldo sa'yo, walang gagalaw sa'yo. You have to work, you have to move on your own. So yun yung kaibahan niya from being an employee and being a full-time artist. It's really difficult in the first time. Aside from that, syempre, how do you make money from your career as an artist? Diba, mahirap yun when you're trying to build something out of nothing. Diba? Una-una as an artist, hindi lang yun sa painting eh. You're actually building your name. So how do you do that? Keep on painting, keep on working. And it takes years for you to do that. Unang-una, kailangan mo mag-ipon ng clients. Pag artist ka, di ba, you have to paint. Keep on painting. Painting lang. Iipunin mo yung yung kliyente mo. Iipunin mo yung art collectors mo. And that takes years. Ang swerte mo if you do that in only just, few months, a year, then you have this large group of art collectors for you, di ba? But in my case, it took me like 10 years to keep the art going, di ba? So, hanggang ngayon, syempre, we still have the pandemic time. As an artist, artist in early 30s, mahirap mag-art, lalo na pandemic na yan. But, basically, it gives me income. Yun naman yun. Unang-una, nakabayad ka ng bills mo when you make the sale sa painting mo. We don't only just do paintings nga pala. We do commission works like portraiture. We do mural works. And sa art, in my case, hindi lang yung kamay. We also do digital stuff. May art din sa computer, di ba? When you say struggles nga pala, no, hindi lang naman income. There's also what we call artist block. That's a struggle for me. When you keep on working, every day, trabaho ka ng trabaho, every day, every week, every month, you get stressed on what you do. Diba? So, what is one way of overcoming stress? Minsan art pa rin. After painting, diba? Pang ibang ways, but is also related din sa art. Kasi when you have the struggle, for me, kunyari na-stress tayo sa passion natin on this art, it doesn't mean that you're going to look for another thing to do, but somehow it's art related pa rin. For example, you make a sculpture instead of puro painting ka, you make a sculpture, diba? Focus on sculpture. Pag na cope up mo na yung boredom o yung block mo, then you go back to the usual thing that you do. Basically, when you're working na kasi, medyo wala na yung yung extracurricular activities, lalo na when you have a family. You actually focus on your work. You just focus on your work every day. Every day, you just focus on your work. And yung work natin kasi is art. Everything revolves around art. Yun lang yan. We focus on what we do. Yung art ko nga pala is all about music. Yung idea, yung topic, and yung what it's all about is all about music. Kasi yun yung interest ko aside from painting. I remember when I was in college sabi ng professor ko, Sir Bob Acosta sa UP, sabi niya, pag artist ka, you need to separate yourself and you need to make sure na you are unique. Diba? Unique ka sa sarili mong art. For example, maraming landscape painters. Diba? Sa lahat ng artists dito sa atin. Sa amin pa lang, ang daming landscape artists. So, marami nagpe-paint sila ng scenery ng environment, flowers and everything. At sabi niya, what makes you different from all the landscape artists? So parang ganun din. Like, for example, yung portrait artist, ang daming artist na nagpe-paint ng mukha. Mukha lang ginagawa nila. So, as a portrait artist, what makes you different from the artist? So, sabi niya doon, you need to be unique on your own way. So dun sa akin, music. So maraming musical artists, maraming nagpe-paint ng musical style. So naisip ko, what makes my art unique? Well, madidiscover mo yan through the years habang nag-work ka, habang ginagawa mo yung art mo, madidiscover mo yun. And in my part kasi, well, tumutugtog ako sa banda. So yun yung in-incorporate ko sa art ko. And then, if you know my art kasi, it revolves around surrealism. Kasi we have the influence of Salvador Dali, the bending and melting of stuff. So, yun din yung ginawa ko doon. Aside from that, yung painting ko kasi medyo na-relate siya sa kung ano yung trabaho ni Mami. You know, my mom is knitter. Gumagawa siya ng mga bonnet, ng mga damit. So, maraming tali sa bahay. And yung tali na yon, I look at it as it flows, it bends. Para siyang ribbon. So basically, yun yung na-capture ko yung style na yon. Art is worth celebrating because art is in all of us. I'm an artist, and my art gives inspiration and creativity to the society.
Hi, ako si Ezekiel Oclaray at ako ay isang hand-poke tattoo artist. A lot of miscommunication about hand-poke and hand-tap is they are the same. However, the traditional way of tattooing that we have here in the Philippines is hand-tapping, or mainly known as the magbabatok, which is one of the reason why our Apuwang Od have this legacy as the oldest magbabatok here in the Philippines, in which they only receive a tattoo once you killed an enemy or other tribe, or if you are a princess, because as you can see, Apuwang Od have like a lot of tattoo all over her body. One of the Maharlika, one thing that I wanted to let other Filipinos and other people in other countries all over the world is that we have this way of tattooing, because here in Asia there are also other hand tap artists, not just here in Luzon but also in Visayas. There is a different designs, there's a different meaning, but the one thing that I wanted people to know about this, that you will only get a tattoo if you are a brave man, or once you let your tribe win in a battle. For me, based on my experience, marami ng changes about about tattooing, kung paano mo siya makukuha. However, there are still a tribe, I guess, in Bukidnon. I mean, may mga rituals. There's a ritual, there's a pag-aalay ng pagkain for them to get a tattoo. Like, they are going to have a feast. So, before getting a tattoo, magkakaroon pa ng feast with, like, there is a celebration before. This is like a celebrating that you will get this type of tattoo. So, there are still a group na ginagawa yun. However, nowadays, nakukuha mo na lang siya na pwede kang pumunta sa Kalinga, pwede kang pumunta sa ibang lugar na nag-handtap, which is marami na kasing gumagawa ng handtap din ngayon, na makukuha mo yung tattoo ng whatever you want, basta makita mo yung ito maganda siya, mukhang it suits me, parang ganun, may personality. And then other people are getting tattoo na rin, like using machine. So yung reason kung bakit din sila kumukuha is for them to express their self din, unlike before. So yun yung parang naisip ko na parang difference from getting a tattoo before and nowadays. Apong Wang-ud is the one who decides with the design kung this suits you. She'll give you like a protection tattoo, a traveler tattoo, something like that. However, nowadays it's the client or the one who will be getting the tattoo to decide what he or she wanted to get. I was inspired by Apo Wang-od and some of my friends na nagtatattoo. So I wanted to start as a tattoo artist, not using a hand poke method before. So may napanood akong video from Facebook. I checked if there is a hand poke tattoo artist here in the Philippines, and I saw, I guess, 3 or 4 of them. So nag-isip ako ng pwede kong gawin so I could easily stand out, and then yun nalaman ko yung hand poke, which is a hand poke method is they call it stick and poke, but the right term is hand poke talaga, because if you say stick and poke kasi it's like the DIY, this is a DIY, like a prison tattoo, but it's very unique in a way that you are doing it traditionally, you are doing it manually without using any machine. So I can do a tattoo siguro sa bundok, sa beach, without using any light. Marami ang nagpapatattoo sa akin para ma-boost yung self-esteem nila for their own mental health. Kasi especially nowadays, pandemic, our mental health is at risk then. Because we can't do the things that we love outside. So a lot of my friends na nagpapatattoo sa akin is karamihan ng pinapagawa nila sa akin na word na translate sa baybayin is padayon. So a lot of people wanted to move forward. A lot of people wanted to para iwan yung gusto nilang iwan na nagawa nila siguro something na ayaw na nilang balikan, just to move forward, to keep up, parang ganon. So that's one of the reason why they are getting a tattoo, na reminder na life must go on. A lot of them nagpapagawa rin sa akin ng semicolon, which is there is a semicolon project which is significantly for mental health awareness din siya. So normally nagpapagawa sila ng tattoo sometimes to remind them na they are loved. Memorial tattoo, just like what I have last month, I guess. Her father died. Like after a week, he got this tattoo with a photo of him, and photo of her and her father. So there are very different reasons, but one of them is it's mostly for them to express themselves. This is part of the history. That's one of the reasons why I focus on hand poke tattooing and baybayin, because a lot of people don't know what is baybayin, don't know how to write. Even me, hindi ko maitatanggi na before I don't know how to do it. It's just because of my brother that asked me to learn baybayin just so we could have a secret code na kami lang yung nakakaalam, na hindi na mababasa ng iba. Bakit wala tayong sulat? Other Asian countries have their own way of writing. However, as Philippines, we are also Asian, but we don't have one. We need to incorporate hand poke tattooing and baybayin so we could preserve our history, our culture, and so we can stand out with other countries as well. I am a hand poke tattoo artist. My art is mainly focused on baybayin scripts, and I do hand poke tattooing to promote a traditional and modern way of tattooing here in the Philippines.
I'm Architect Ramil Tibayan. I head the Conservation Division of the Intramuros Administration. So the office I'm handling is in charge of the conservation of cultural properties of Intramuros Administration, which includes all of the historic sites and structures, plus the museum collection of the administration. Ever since when I was a child, yan talaga yung yung pangarap ko maging as an architect talaga. No? So I pushed through it na kapag-aral ako ng architecture, and then I graduated and passed the board exams, no. But syempre architecture is also a form of art, no. So actually tinatawag nila it's the mother of all arts, no. Yung lahat ng arts sina-house sa architecture, no? So parang gano'n. So why I am now in Intramuros, no. Ever since my passion talaga is on culture talaga. Ever since ano pa ako, no, as a college pa, no. So talaga ang passion ko na is culture and heritage. And then when I saw an opportunity to apply for a government position that is into arts and heritage, so I took advantage of it. Well, actually, when I was in the private practice, mas malaki nga sweldo sa private practice doon bago ako pumasok sa government service. But I let go of that high salary and took the risk in applying for a government position, which I think it's well, for me it's good, no. And kumbaga parang nagagawa ko yung gusto ko, nakakatulong ako sa pag-preserve ng ating heritage, no. And despite na medyo mahirap din sa gobyerno, pero I enjoyed it, no. So yun, so I'm enjoying my job here as a conservation architect for the government. Arts kasi parang it's a form of inspiration, di ba? So, itong pandemic, no? So parang talagang lahat tayo nakakulong sa mga bahay natin, wala tayong ginagawa, no? So what we did during that time, especially in the earlier months of the ECQ, is we tried to share pa rin yung yung collections namin in the Intramuros collections, no, sa Intramuros administration, no? So even though the museums are closed to the public, so we try to reach out to the public by using the social media accounts, no? So nag-share kami yung mga namin, kung ano yung sa collections namin. At the same time, we did online exhibits to a partnership with the Google Cultural Institute, no? So if you visit the website, makikita niyo doon yung iba namin ma-exhibit, no? So even without physically going to the museums, you can see what's within the collection of IA, no, through our social media accounts, or online exhibits, no, yun. So parang by doing this, we inspire people that despite the situation that we have na, parang meron pa rin tayo nakikitang magaganda, no, kahit papaano, no. So ayan, challenge namin talaga nung simula, syempre in the first place everything is online, no, lahat online. So we need to do everything online. So ang challenge talaga nun yung internet connectivity. So yung mga first episodes namin talagang well, as you know, we do online webinars. So yung mga ganyan. So parang yung mga simula na may times na nadi-disconnect kami. So parang nakakaya, nadi-disconnect yung tapos nagkakaroon ng mga technical glitches. But eventually, syempre this is parang it's a first time for everyone, no? So parang sa learning process din, no? Then eventually natuto din kami and we cope up with the current situation, no? So ayun, naayos din naman as habang tumatagal, naayos din naman namin yung mga problems and we cope up with this. And for me, I think that the project, yung mga online webinars na ginawa namin, it's very successful, no? Kasi maraming nanonood, that it's not only the local audience na capture namin, but also we have audience from international scene. And yung mga na-invite din namin mga speakers were not only locally sourced, but we try to get speakers from abroad, no? So parang we take advantage of this because syempre without being physically there to do these interviews, na so lahat online. We do it everything online. So parang mas madali ngayon yung reach, no, makakuha ng mga audience and plus the speakers from abroad. So parang the situation now parang mas wider yung reach namin because of what is happening, though despite the pandemic, no. So hopefully that itong namin maging source of inspiration din sa iba, no, and at the same time yung information na ibibigay din namin, parang kumbaga may natututunan din, and at the same time it's parang mas accessible, kumbaga, no. Well, supposed to be arts has to be accessible to all, no. So kumbaga parang this time walang barriers, no? So everything is online, everyone can access our contents, no? And kumbaga yung information, it's parang ang dali niyang makapag-reach ng information ngayon, no? And it's free kasi syempre everything is online. So I hope that what we're doing, kumbaga naka-inspire din naman ng natin, no? Mga kababayan natin despite the current situation that we have now.
Hi, my name is Andrew Cracker and I'm a drag queen. Drag is dressing up as girls. Doon naman ang galing abbreviation nun. Tapos, drag is an art form na maraming kayang gawin. Drag is lip-syncing, performing, dancing, performance art, at syempre impersonating, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos, matagal naman ng active ang drag scene dito sa Pilipinas, pero ang mas na-amplify lang ngayong pandemic. Example ng literal na na celebrity na drag queen. Kasi nga pag tinatanong kami sa public, tatanungin kami. Anong ginagawa niyo ganyan? Ano yung drag queen? Ano yung makeup transformation? Ano yung drag queen? Ano yung impersonator ganun? Isa lang sasabihin lang namin lagi, Paulo Ballesteros. Gaganoon kami. Gets mo? Kaya malaki din ang utang na loob din ng mga bakla kay Paulo kasi nga ang laki ng nilalagay niya sa harap ng mainstream, 'di ba? Kasi nga lagi siya nakikita. Lalo na ngayon mas nagda-drag siya ngayon, 'di ba? Lagi siyang may drag show, lagi siyang naka-drag sa TV5. Nasimula na din ng mga sa mga kalokalike, 'di ba? Yung mga GGSS, yung sa Itbulaga, yung gaya-gaya siyang siya. Yung latest recently, yung Kila Vinyas, yung Catch Me Out. Nag-perform sila ng drag doon. I-introduce din yung drag. Tapos yung recent, grabe, sobrang umaabante, ang bilis. Kaso lang lagi lang kami na nako-compare. Hindi alam ng mga masa o ng mga audience kung ano ang difference ng drag sa stand-up comedy, sa comedians. Actually, ang drag naman, pwede rin naman mag-comedy, pero mas refined ang drag kasi mas inaayos mo magdamit, mas inaayos mo makeup mo, mas nandun yung parang higher form of art tsaka higher value dun sa ginagawa. Parang it's how you treat pop stars. Parang ganun. Ganun yung, in a way, self-entitlement ng mga drag queen. You see yourself as a queen. You don't see yourself as a joke. Siyempre sa mga stand-up comedians, di ba, they can go on a gig without wearing something extravagant, di ba? Parang they just bring their wits, di ba? Tsaka yung singing talents nila, ganyan, yung comedy skills nila. Pero sa drag kasi lahat yun sabay-sabay eh. You can do comedy while performing, while dancing, while singing live, while lip-syncing. So, ibang level ng preparation talagang ginagawa ng drag. Kasi, ang comedian pwedeng pumunta ng hindi nakaayos eh. Like, hindi naka-costume, ganyan-ganyan. Pero ang drag queen, hindi pwedeng pumunta ng hindi naka-drag sa Philippines. Important na siya ngayon kasi mas lalong nagiging open na ang Philippines when it comes to LGBT community, I think. Pero yun nga, unti-unti nag-open yung mga doors. Like, sa mainstream media, mas kilala na ang drag. Gawa nga ng mga drag shows, RuPaul's Drag Race. Lalo na ngayong pandemic, online drag shows. So nakikilala na nila kami lalo kung ano yung mga ginagawa namin. Tapos, importance niya sa pop culture sa buong mundo. Almost all of the pop culture icons, mga singers, mga celebrities, tsaka mga fashion industry. Halos lagi rin silang nagde-depend sa trend ng drag. Lagi rin silang nakasabay sa trend ng drag. Like, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, yung mga ganyan. Sila ang mga talagang alam mong influence ng drag. Kahit alam mong hindi sila drag queen, kahit singer sila. Pero grabe yung influence ng drag sa kanila. Sila Andy. Yung pagiging close nila ni Andy Warhol sa mga drag queens. Sila David Bowie, sila Freddie Mercury. Yung mga ganon. So, we cannot say na hindi siya connected sa pop culture kasi drag is parang essential to pop culture itself. Kahit saan pa yan. Political stand niya kasi nag-start siya, di ba, ang history ng drag is riots na nung 70s, 80s sa Stonewall, yung mga nagrarally ng mga LGBT tsaka mga minority groups against the government. Kasi nga yung rights nila sobrang stepped on. So, doon nag-start ang liberation ng drag eh. So, hanggang ngayon yun pa rin ang pinaglalaban nila. Lalo na ngayon, isa ang mga drag queens sa frontliners, kumbaga, na nagpapasan ng Soji Bill. self-expression, freedom, art. Number one talaga, self-expression. Kasi in a way, it's a mask para sa mga taong gustong mag-express ng sarili nila nang may mask. Parang exposing yourself but with a mask. Di ba ang weird? Parang ironic siya. Kasi may mga nagdadrag na nilalabas nila yung totoong sila pag nakadrag sila. Meron namang nagdadrag na merong gustong ma-feel na comfort at security at safety at power at strength dahil nakadrag sila. So, yun yung obvious na reason. Ano talaga siya? Expression, art expression, self-expression. Ang tingin ko sa kanya, art form talaga kasi graduate ako ng college, graduate ako ng may degree, pero ang pinili ko pa rin drag. So, lumaki akong isang alipin ng sining at hanggang ngayon, mamamatay akong alipin ng sining.
Hindi lang puro hugot. Youth for Truth will lead you to the GOAT. Greatest of all time. Achieve! Life goals na on fleek. Youth for Truth. Youth for Truth on Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM.
Simula ng pagkalat ng sakit na COVID-19 sa iba't ibang parte ng mundo, ay nagsimula ring maghanap ang mga eksperto ng bakuna laban dito. Sa ngayon, nagtulungan ng pamahalaan at mga kumpanya mula sa iba't ibang bansa at ginawang prioridad ang paggawa ng bakuna. Matapos masiguro ng Philippine Food and Drug Administration o FDA na ligtas ang bakuna, mabibigyan nito ng Emergency Use Authorization para maggamit ng gobyerno. Ang bakuna ay gawa sa hindi na aktibo o inactivated, pinahina o weakened, o mga pinatay na kopya ng buo o piling parte ng pathogen. Mahalagang maunawaan na ang mga katangian nito ay iba sa orihinal na virus at hindi ito nagdudulot ng sakit. Ang pathogen na sanhi ng sakit ay maaaring isang bacteria, virus, o iba pang microorganismo. Kapag naibigay ang vaccine sa katawan, ay naguhudyat ito ng isang natural immune response kung saan gumagawa ng antibodies ang katawan sa paraan ng pagkuha ng mga piling parte ng microorganismo at pagproseso nito para hindi na siya nakakahawa. Ginagaya ng isang bakuna ang mga pathogen na nakadudulot ng sakit upang ma-stimulate ang natural immune response ng katawan. Ginagaya ng bakuna ang proseso ng pagkakaroon ng sakit at pagbuo ng antibodies na hindi kasama ang mga masasamang sintomas at epekto. Ang layunin ng mga antibodies ay protektahan ng katawan natin at labanan ang mga virus o bakterya. Kapag nakagawa na ng antibodies ang katawan natin, kinukode ng ating memory cells ang microorganismo upang madali itong maalala at mamukaan ng katawan. Ngayon na alam na ng mga memory cell ang itsura ng virus, kaya nang gumawa agad-agad ng katawan natin ng antibodies kapag nahawahan tayo ng totoo, buhay at buo na virus. Importanteng maalala natin na malaking tulong man laban sa COVID-19 ng pagkakaroon ng vaccine, hindi ito gamot o luna sa sakit na ito. Kahit may bakuna na, kailangan pa rin nating sundin ng mga minimum public health standards para mas mabawasan ang pagkakataong mahawahan tayo ng COVID-19. Sanitize lagi ang kamay. Magsuot ng face mask at face shield. Dumistansya ng 1 metro at panatilihing malusog ang sarili at matibay ang resistensya upang maiwasan ang pagkakasakit. Laging tatandaan, prevention is still better than cure, kaya naman patuloy lamang ang pagsasagawa ng preventive measures. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Together, kaya natin to be the solusyon sa COVID-19.
Paano nilalabanan ng bakuna ang sakit? Ginagaya ng bakuna ang virus o bakterya na nagdudulot ng sakit at naguhudyat ng paggawa ng katawan ng antibody. Ang mga antibody ang siyang magbibigay proteksyon sa pagkakataong mahawa ng aktwal na virus o bakterya na nagdudulot ng sakit. Tara, sa Bida Vaccination!
Sa pagtama ng COVID-19 pandemic, hindi lang dito sa bansa, kung hindi pati na rin sa iba pang panig ng mundo, isa sa mga lubhang na apektuhan ay ang larangan ng sining. Kabilang sa mga naging epekto nito, ang pansamantalang pagsasara ng mga tanghalan, museo, sinehan at iba pang events bilang pagsunod sa community quarantine at safety measures na ipinatupad ng pamahalaan. Nagkaroon ng adjustment sa industriya ng media sa pagpapaliban ng mga tapings na nagresulta sa pagpapalabas ng replays sa mga programa sa telebisyon. Unti-unting naging katuwang ng sining ang teknolohiya kung saan ang paggamit ng video conferencing technology at live streaming ang nagsilbing new normal para sa mga ito. Sa pamamagitan ng teknolohiya, ang mga pagtatanghal na isinasagawa lamang noon sa mga entablado ay naipalabas na sa mga video streaming platforms tulad na lamang ng CCP Arts and Culture Online na isa sa mga hakbang ng Cultural Center of the Philippines sa paghahatid ng sining sa new normal. Ang mga proyektong nangangailangan naman ng face-to-face interaction ay naging posible sa pamamagitan ng video conferencing technology, kabilang na ang mga concerts, taping ng mga programa sa radyo at telebisyon at iba pa. Ngayong binibigandaan na ng pamahalaan ang pagbangon ng ekonomiya, kamakailan lang ay inanunsyo ng IATF ang muling pagbubukas ng mga sinehan, tanghalan at museo. Isa nga sa mga inaabangan ay ang muling pagbubukas ng mga pasilidad ng National Museum of the Philippines. Noong February 17, binuksan na rin para sa publiko ang ilan sa mga museo at historical sites ng Intramuros Administration, kabilang dito ang Fort Santiago, Casa Manila Museum at ang Baluarte de San Diego. Sa taong ito, nakatakdang pasinayaan muli ang pagbubukas ng Manila Metropolitan Theater na kilala rin bilang MET. Makalipas ang 25 taon nang isinara ito noong 1996. Sa kasalukuyan, puspusan ang ginagawang paghahanda ng National Commission for Culture and the Arts o NCCA sa MET para sa nalalapit na 2021 Quincentennial Commemorations dito sa bansa. Dahil dito gaganapin ang Quincentennial Evening Show sa darating na April 27, 2021. Kilala ang MET bilang Grand Dame of Manila na dinisenyo ng tanyag na arkitekto na si Juan M. Arellano at binuksan noong 1931. Bahagya itong nagtamo ng pinsala taong 1945 sa pinansagang Battle of Manila at mula dito ay ilang restoration projects ang isinagawa para ibalik at isaayos ang ganda nito. Naging tahanan ng mga pagtatanghal at cultural activities ang MET tulad na lamang ng mga concert ng mga international artists noon at ang pagpapalabas ng kauna-unahang pelikula ng LVN Pictures na dinaluhan ng dating Pangulong Manuel L. Quezon. Noong 2015, binili ng NCCA mula sa Government Service Insurance System o GSIS ang MET at agad na sinimulan ang rehabilitasyon nito, katuwang ang National Museum of the Philippines, National Historical Commission of the Philippines at Cultural Center of the Philippines. Bago ang nakatakdang pagtanggap muli sa publiko ng ilan sa mga kayamanang sining na ito, dapat pa rin nating tandaan ang health protocols bilang pag-iwas sa COVID-19. Ugaliin ang physical distancing, pagsusuot ng mask at face shield, at ang paghuhugas o pag-disinfect ng kamay gamit ang alcohol o hand sanitizer kahit saan. Sa kabila ng sari-saring pagsubok na dala ng COVID-19, masasabing hinding-hindi nito kayang pigilan ang paglikha at pamamahayag sa mundo ng sining.
Hindi lang puro hugot. Youth for Truth will lead you to the GOAT. Greatest of all time. Achieve! Life goals na on fleek. Youth for Truth. Youth for Truth on Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM.
Dahil kasama sa kultura ng isang lipunan ng art o sining, patuloy rin itong nagbabago. Lumalaki, lumalago. Kung dati ay limitado lamang sa kanta, sayaw, pagpipinta at pag-arte ang sining, ngayon ay nag-iiba na rin ang mga paraan ng ating mga kababayan upang ipahayag ang kani-kanilang mga saloobin. Dumarami ang mga artist na ginagamit ang kanilang sining sa aktivismo o pagpapahayag ng opinyon sa iba't ibang issue sa paligid. Binibigyang buhay ng aktivismo ang iba't ibang ideolohiya sa pamamagitan ng mga installations, murals, effigies at mga dula upang mas maintindihan ng mas nakararaming tao ang mga mensaheng nais nilang iparating. Ngayong nakilala na natin ang iba't ibang uri ng sining sa ating lipunan, talakayin naman natin ang mga uri ng art o sining na ginagamit ng ating mga kababayan upang magmulat at magpahayag ng kani-kanilang ideolohiya o saloobin sa mga political, social at economic issues na nararapat na pag-usapan.
Hi, I'm Toym Imao. I am a teacher of art at the University of the Philippines and I am a visual artist. Installation art is art made public. I mean, meron tayong mga trabaho. We have artworks that are housed in museums and galleries. We have public artworks in the form of monuments and shrines, no, to our heroes, to our history. And there's this particular niche, no, of public art that's not permanent, that's meant to express only a certain set of ideas or a representation, and that's where installation art comes in. It's very ephemeral, it's very temporary, it's only showed within a limited period of time in any particular place. I primarily do historical public art, particularly historical representation of events and personalities. We have a very, very rich history dating back to 500 years. We're commemorating 500 years of contact with the West right now. So it is important that we also bring to forth through our audiences, to the public, other aspects of our history. If there would be any available shrine or monument to it, then installation art fills that gap. We image history. In my case, I image an alternative imaging of history that may not have been seen in other representation. And it is also a way in which we can deliver narratives about some other aspects of our history, may it be painful, may it be forgotten, may it be shelved for the moment. No? And this is an opportunity for the public to at least have a taste or have an inkling of what these narratives are through installation art. We should always relate everything to what has happened in the past. Make all your works an opportunity for people to go beyond kung anong gusto mo lang sabihin at the now, pero to magbalik tanaw sila sa past. No? And lessons can be learned. No? I always have a specific focus. The contemporary way of presenting my artwork has always been to address the current. No? Pero it's always certain elements of that entire expression of the now is very much rooted and grounded with the past. And then for me, I'm very, very, very conscious about that. Para mas masarap yung pag-uusap about what you have presented. The only feeling that I want, no, when I do my installation art, no, is that I want them to be curious about what I'm trying to say. No? I want them to ask questions kung dun sa parang dinideliver na mensahe or symbolisms ng ating installation. I want them to go to Google search and find out more about what this artist is trying to say. I want them to answer their own questions. No? Because my work will definitely not give them any answers. It's only a mere portal for them to understand, to arouse their curiosity in order to delve more, no, into what this artist or this installation is trying to say. And that's when the conversation starts. No? That's how effectively we can share these narratives to the public without spoon-feeding them information. Because I think we should trust our audiences. They are, especially among the young, they have a very complex understanding of things. And sometimes, I would sit around my own work incognito, not introducing myself, and I would just like eavesdrop on what they are saying. And sometimes, there are many moments na, teka, I haven't thought of that. Oh? Oo nga, no? And you get your explanation about your work through the public. And that's, I think, one of the most wonderful reward as an artist when you do an artwork. Yung installation art ko in particular was to address voids in representation of our history as a people and as a nation. No? Whether it be social, political, or cultural history ng ating bansa. And it's very rooted in my own personal advocacies, no? My activism. And we have to first at least define what activism is. No? Activism is basically the policy of action of using various campaigns to bring about a social change. No? And it's not the sole territory of any particular group. Even those in power or those not in power have the same opportunity to exercise their activism. It's a voice, no? But those who are not in power, it's a way for them to express their own personal sentiments, no? Especially among the youth, no? And we can see this displayed among the young people of this country, because even if you're not in a legal age, you're not in legal to vote for something, no? You use your voice, and it is a right that is enshrined in our own constitution. So we exercise that. And as artists, we do it a little different. You know? We do it through our art. Our art becomes our voice. Our art becomes our messenger of our own personal sentiments, of our own personal views, to be shared to the people. And it depends, no, whether those in power or those who are among us, the citizenry, will accept or will go with whatever we're trying to say. But it's basically what we do as artists is we're part of a society that expresses our ideas a little bit more different, no? A little bit more interesting, creative, beyond literal words, beyond literal speech. It embodies the spirit, the zeitgeist of our era. It embodies the sentiments of the times. I would often quote Bertolt Brecht. I love this guy. He's a playwright. Meron siya sinabi na, will there be singing in dark times? Nung tinanong siya, sabi niya, yes, there will be singing about dark times. And we've seen through the history of our country that the artist has always been a partner in this sharing, singing. No? You'd have Jose Rizal, the polymath, who wrote the El Filibusterismo and the Noli Me Tangere. This was his song about the dark times. You'd have Nick Joaquin in the 1940s, his verses sharing about the horrors and the destructions of World War II. Then you'd have national artists Ishmael Bernal and Lino Broca telling about the turbulent times of the 70s when our democratic institutions were challenged. We have always been a partner with historians, with social workers, with activists, with teachers, in order to try to image the times. No? We're here as a very important part of society. No? We have a certain function in society that is necessary for any civilized nation or any democratic nation to fulfill, and we use it through our art. And that is why it is very important that we are truthful to what we are trying to say. We are sincere with the processes of how we deliver it, and we are very sure and clear of what the messages are, and should be an opportunity for dialogue between two different forces. And that is why it is important for us to continue what we are trying to say. And hopefully, those who are in power, those who are in a position to effect change, no, for the country, would listen and would sit down with us and have a dialogue.
Hi, I'm Harold Evangelista and I'm a theater actor. Ang ultimate goal kasi talaga ng theater is, of course, it's entertainment, di ba? So, a theater is actually a place kung saan may mga ordinary, karaniwang actor or actress na nagpe-perform doon to entertain people and also to spread message, awareness sa mga tao kung ano man yung tema nga nung palabas na pinapalabas natin. In theater, I can be anyone na who I want to be or anyone na I want to portray, or if may pinagdadaanan ako, meron akong medium or meron akong avenue para ilabas yung feelings ko na gusto kong ilabas. If the show was very successful enough to show what the story really is, nabubuksan kasi yung mata ng audience to a certain issue, kung paano to i-handle, kung paano siya harapin. Ang theater kasi it's more solid. Kumbaga mas concrete yung nakikita mo, unlike ng painting, minsan abstract, lalo yung mga impressionism, yung mga expressionism, yung mga strokes niyan, doon mo nakikita yung feelings sa strokes niyan pag nasa painting ka. Pag nasa photography ka naman, ganun din, makikita mo siya sa lightings and shadows, kung ano yung expression na gusto nyo ipakita doon sa picture, di ba? Unlike sa theater, mas concrete kasi nakikita nila yung tao, mas nakikita nila yung emotion, mas nakikita nila yung message na gustong ipakita ng mga artista sa entablado. So, mas mahirap siya. It's the hardest form for me, but not the highest form. Kasi para sa akin, they're all pantay-pantay. there's a lot of times na I was moved by our own production, especially when we did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's actually the story of Joseph who became the Prince of Egypt, no? So up to now, dala-dala ko pa rin siya na even if the world closes its doors on you, there will always be an opportunity na you will rise up from the ground and you will come back stronger, wiser. Talagang hanggang ngayon dala-dala ko yung story na yan sa buhay ko. Para sa akin, mas napapadali nilang intindihin yung dahilan kung bakit ginagawa yung ganun, yung activism. For example, we did yung Rizal Behind Bars. It's actually the life story of Jose Rizal inside the prison. Yung mga backtrack niya sa isip niya, yung mga nangyari niya. Ang story nun is may part doon na nag-meet yung past and present, yung activism nga, may part talaga na activism doon. So parang para sa akin mas malaki yung papel ng theater pagdating doon kasi mas maiintindihan ng mga kabataan kung bakit ginagawa nila yung ganung gawain, yung activism, kasi doon sa story nakikita nila kung anong nag-trigger, kung bakit naisipan nilang gawin yon. Unlike yung mga nakikita nila sa news na parang, diba, na parang yung mga rallyista, ganto ganyan, parang for no reason, iisipin nila bakit ganun. Pero pag nakakanood kasi ikaw ng parang, pag nakakanood ka ng mga palabas or yung mga ganyang theater na may ganung theme, mas naiintindihan mo kung bakit nila ginagawa. Kasi makikita mo yung story all throughout. Maiintindihan mo na, oh, ganun pala yun. Kaya siguro nag-aklas sila, kaya sila nagbumuo ng grupo para ipaglaban yung gusto na ipaglaban. So, yun, para sa akin, pag na-deliver ng maayos yung mga ganun, siguro yung mga ganung tema ng play or ng dula, mas maiintindihan ng kabataan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng activism or aktivismo yung mga ganung klaseng grupo. There's actually a lot of times na I was moved by a performance. Especially if the production or the play is new, yung bago na I've never been watched. I have never watched it. Maraming beses na naiyak ako, na natawa ako, na talagang na-move ako ng mga performances ng mga fellow actors ko na pinapanood ko lang sila na syempre minsan iba yung feeling na nandoon ka sa upuan na ikaw yung nanonood na parang, oh, ganun pala yun. Yung merong ganong feeling kasi parang pag ikaw yung nasa stage, ang isipin mo, dapat ganito. Dapat maihatid mo ng ganun. Ngayon pag ikaw na yung nakaupo, ang makikita mo, ganun pala yun. Well, actually, performing arts, yan ang pinaka-affected na industry sa lahat na yung pandemic. Kasi there's no place for gathering. So all theaters are sarado. Even in television nga, di ba, bihira yung mga may palabas na live kasi hindi makapagtipon-tipon. So, buti na lang we have this, mga live streaming apps where us performers, kaming mga performers, mga theater actors, ginagamit namin yung platform na yun or yung mga apps na yun as an avenue pa din to do our love for the arts.
Sabi ng makatang si Ezra Pound, no heart has ever stopped a tank. Maaring totoo nga na walang piraso ng sining na nakapagpigil sa digmaan o nakagamot ng malubhang sakit. Ngunit sa sining nagmumula ang mga ideya o pag-iisip na maaring makapagmulat sa isang lipunan mula sa mga bagay na madalas ay hindi nabibigyan ng pansin. Hindi lamang nakakulong sa pagpapaganda ang sining. Ito ay nagmumulat, nagtuturo, nagpapahayag, at nagpapalaya.
I'm an artist, and my art gives inspiration and creativity to the society.
I am a hand-poke tattoo artist. My art is mainly focused on buying scripts, and I do hand-poke tattooing to promote a traditional and modern way of tattooing here in the Philippines.
Well, supposed to be arts has to be accessible to all, no? So, kumbaga parang this time, walang barriers, no? So everything is online. Everyone can access our contents, no?
I am an artist and my art form is drag. Yes, go.
I am a teacher and a visual artist, and through my installation and public art, I tell stories about the nation, its history, its art, and its culture.
I am a theater actor, and my art helps the younger people to have a deeper understanding on what's happening in the society.
Hindi man lahat tayo ay may kakayahang gumuhit, tumula, sumayaw o kumanta, lahat naman tayo ay may gustong sabihin at ipahayag. Lahat tayo ay may kagustuhang mapakinggan, makita at maintindihan sa simpleng sining o anumang pamamaraan. Hindi man malinaw kung anong tunay na definisyon, sa sining naman nagmumula ang halaga, saysay at kabuluhan. Lahat ng tao ay may kwento, paniniwala at saloobin, at sining ang pamamaraan upang ito ay ihayag at ipaglaban. Ang tao, ang lipunan, ang may kakayahang magbigay ng kahulugan. Ang sining, ang naghihiwalay sa tao mula sa iba pang bagay na may buhay.